Are we live? Are we live? I think we are live. Hi guys, and welcome to episode 32 of the Security Dog Handler live Q&A/talk. Yeah, I haven't done one of these for a while. I've been away twice, so I've had to work a couple of Wednesdays. So we haven't done one of these for a good 3 or 4 weeks. I tried to fit one in, but couldn't manage to do it. So yeah, episode 32, got a couple of things that we'll talk about. Who have we got in? UK Security 101. Hey, mate, me and the missus and Zeus are watching you live on the big screen, no pressure. So there's some good news to that and some bad news to that. I suppose the bad news for that is that you're watching me in HD, which may not be the best thing. But the good news for that is at least there's a bit of sex appeal on the screen for your missus. So win some, you lose some. You know what I mean? So yeah, what can we talk about? What have I been up to recently? I went for long weekend away at Clawford Lakes. Really enjoyed it. We took the dog. As you may have seen in the Butte Beach video, I met up with UK Security 101 and had a really good chat. And spent some time with him and his missus. They come over for dinner and that. And yeah, really enjoyed it. Enjoyed meeting him. Obviously, we've done a lot through Zoom or we've done a lot of chats, etc. But we've never actually met in the flesh. So it was good to meet Aaron and sort of talk about plans for next year for the channel and different things like that. There is going to be a big announcement on my channel on the 2nd of January, because the 2nd of January will be 2 years since I uploaded my first YouTube video, and I think that's a good date if I'm going to make a big announcement. I think that's going to be a good one. So the 2nd of January, there's going to be a big announcement for the channel to help improve it and move it forwards, etc. And Aaron's going to be a part of that as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, I went to Clawford Lakes long weekend. Really enjoyed it. It was a good break away. We took the dog. He was pretty good. He normally adapts pretty well to any living conditions that we put him into. Like I say, we went to the beach. We done some walks and that. And then last weekend it was my dad's 70th this Saturday. So before sort of his party started, a group of us went away and went and played golf, and yeah, it was really good. Actually, we watched the England USA game in like the accommodation at the golf club, and got to meet Justin Rose, which for a lot of people won't mean anything, but if you're a golfer, getting to spend the evening watching the football, Justin Rose, and him taking his time out to have chats and answer questions and spend some time with us was really cool of him, to be fair. So who we got in? Chip King. Hi buddy. Hi mate, how you doing? Hope you're good. UK Security 101. What he's not telling you guys is he got me semi-naked and in the hot tub. Oh god, hold on, just got a mail thing gone over that. What he's not telling you guys is he got me semi-naked in the hot tub on our first date. Yeah. So, yeah, when we was at Clawford Lakes, there was a hot tub there, and the four of us ended up in the hot tub. Hot tubs are strange for me. I'm not a massive fan of them, but I can see the appeal of them. And just to spend some time and that, we all jumped in the hot tub and that. So, yes, I've had Security 101 in his swim shorts on a first date. So, but yeah, like I say, Clawford Lakes and the Prince's thing was really good. In terms of work, it's been really good. So it's just been my standard shifts and that. Been very quiet around, which is always good. I've always said that if you spend a shift and nothing happens, that's the best shift, because you stay safe, your dog stays safe, and you're not having to deal with any situation. So although when you're doing this job, it might feel a bit boring if night after night, month after month, nothing happens. But I was talking to someone the other day, and I said that with this job is that you can spend lots of time where nothing happens on shift and that, and you think, oh, this is quite boring. I wish something would happen. But you can't control what that thing is going to be. So you can say, I'd like it if someone walked on so we could deal with that site. But what happens if someone walks onto that site with a knife, or 4 blokes walk onto that site with a baseball bat each? So for me, if it's a quiet shift and nothing really happens, that's good. That's good enough for me. We turn up, we do our job, we go home safe, and we get through another week. So yeah, over the last sort of 3-4 weeks, it's been reasonably quiet. It's been going about my job. I've got a shift coming up that's going to be a bit different. It's a little bit. It's not the same as the race car in the castle, but it is like a special odd one-off shift. So I'm going to be doing that. I'll probably do some sort of video about it, but it's not going to be. I'm not going to be showing the grounds or anything like that. It's going to be a different experience for me. So anyone that's watched like my first shift on site, where I've done it from the vehicle, it'll probably be quite similar to that. But I think it'll be good for me to sort of talk through that as it being like my first experience of that type of shift. So I've got that one of them coming up. And I think coming up into Christmas is I've managed to save some holiday. I've managed to save some holiday and get some time off. So I actually think between like the 14th of December to the 3rd of January, I think I'm working 4 shifts in 20 days and using my holiday to take to cover obviously some of the shifts I'm going to be missing. So I'm looking forward to that bit of a break. I've got a couple of night shifts and then I'm working the 2 bank holidays. Feel like I've done pretty well in order to kind of save holiday through the year in order to be able to give myself a good break off, because everyone else is going to be off. So I don't want to be out working night shifts, or I don't want to be out working if everyone else is off. It's a nice time that you can take some time off, etc. So yeah, coming up into the next month or so, I'm not going to be doing that much working, which is going to be decent for me as well, because that gives me sort of, there's a few weeks where I've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, where I can do a few different videos from here. That's maybe I don't want to say more professional, but maybe I can set it up a little bit differently, rather than doing it from the van or doing it with in the van with like just a torch on, etc. So it might give me a good chance to get some videos up and that, etc. UK Security 101. If you have a quiet shift, it means you're doing your job right. Yeah, I think that's also something as well, isn't it? If you, I'm not saying this because this is guessing, obviously. So if you're out and you're patrolling a lot, or with my site, if I'm continuously setting off the floodlights and that, and people are watching from a distance, they can see I'm active, they can see I'm out. Therefore, they may be less inclined to come onto site. So you have to remember that with this as well, is that someone may be watching you from a distance, and if they can see a pattern, or if they can see that you're only out in certain times, then they can use that to their advantage. So if you're constantly setting off floodlights, if you're constantly out and about, and they can't make up a pattern or whatever it is, maybe they're less inclined to come on, etc. So yeah, if you get a quiet shift, it might mean that you're doing your job right, and someone that's been looking at the site has decided that they don't want to risk coming on, etc. Danny Rolfe, evening, mate. How are you? Yeah, if you've got any questions, make sure you put them down in the chat box. We've got UK Security 101, Chip King, Danny Rolfe, some people that can answer questions as much as I can. UK Security 101, couldn't have said it better myself. And good evening, Danny. Oh, yeah. Nice little romantic chat. So yeah, in terms of videos, if we go through the last few, I can't even remember when the last one was that I spoke about on here, so I'll roughly just go back a little bit. Where are we? Videos there. So I reckon I think I spoke about the podcast on the last one, so I'll go after the podcast. So we've got Security Dog Handler Internal. So the security dog handler internal video was an internal search. That video was okay. I can't say that it was my best. I can't say it was my best performance as a handler doing that. Made a mistake in there, and probably could have been more vocal with my challenges. So in terms of shouting security dog and handler, I shouted security dog and handler. I know you're in there. Show yourself. One thing I didn't say is security dog and handler. If you're injured, let me know. But other than that, it was pretty good. The dog done his job. It was more of like a handler error of the entry into the room. I allowed the dog to go in the room and around the corner without me being in the room as well. So that was my mistake. But like I say, with this, it would have been quite easy for me to edit that video. I think it would have been quite easy to say, scrap that, let me do it again because I want to do it properly. And I think that's some of the good part you see about my videos, or you see about me, is that if I make a mistake, I will post it up because I want other people to see that and understand, okay, well, I need to make sure that doesn't happen next time. I've always said that I'm not the perfect handler. I'm not perfect in everything I do. If I do make mistakes in like training and things like that, I'll post it up so that people can learn from it. And I'm sure that if you speak to a lot of people, or a lot of handlers, that's happened to them whilst they've been training and different things like that. So like I said, with the internal, I think the dog done his job. The dog was good. Me, not so much, but it wasn't like a horrific mistake that I made. What else we got? Dog handler manual roulette was 3 pages. A lot of that was about. What was it? Hold on. I'm pretty sure I put it in as a talk through the manual. So I think a lot of that was about people on site, about procedures, about giving chase if someone's on site, about the way in which you should talk to people, etc. So I think that that manual roulette is good for people that want to just get an idea of kind of what you need to do if someone's on site, etc. And then the last one was Bude Beach. That was just a quick video. Now, obviously, I went away and it was a break for me and the fiance. So I didn't want to make the whole trip about a video. I maybe wish that I'd done a little bit more, but like I say, it's when we get some time away, so I didn't want to make it all about a video, etc. So the beach was a decent one where I could just give it a camera and just say, look, do me a favor. Can you just take some videos of us being on the beach and on our walk, etc. And then I'll clip it up and make some sort of video out of it. I possibly could have done something with Aaron, but I think again, him and his missus coming over and us getting to have a chat, etc. I didn't want to then go, right, girls, do you want to go do this? Because me and Aaron are going to go and do a chat or start making a bit of a video, etc. So I was quite aware that I didn't want to make the trip about a video. I think there's going to be more times that I'm going to go and see Aaron, or me and Aaron are going to meet up where we can do that sort of stuff. So, and obviously you guys get the podcast and all that sort of stuff and things like that. So I didn't want to put loads of pressure and make the trip about a video, because I wanted to obviously relax myself, to make sure that the fiance had a decent time away. So yeah, that Bude Beach is just us on the beach, and I think you get a good look at also the way in Cooper acts around dogs and things like that. You see in that video that there's a little like puppy that comes bounding up to Coop, and as you can see, Coop goes down into like a lay position. He doesn't try and go towards the dog. He's quite happy. I mean, he's on a lead, obviously, but he's quite happy just to be there and seeing what the situation was. Then the owners come over and sort of shepherded the puppy away, and then you can see that Coop can switch off to that and go, okay, well, we're going to play with the waves now. So yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Danny Rolf, all good, nice to be with the gang. Yeah, I'd say I think with these lives, it's good to see you guys all in. UK Security 101. It's unusual for him to be around on a Wednesday live. He may clip in and out when I do it, but it sounds like he's actually at home, which is unusual for him. Chip King, great thing about training, you can do your mistakes and then you can learn from them. Yeah, and like I say, I think if you speak to any handler that's been doing it or anyone that's been training in that, what you see in my videos in terms of mistakes is stuff that's happened to them before, but it may not happen a second time. So it is a good place to make your mistakes. Now, obviously, as long as everyone stays safe, this is why I've always said about my dog is that, especially in training situations around people that he knows, is that I know he's not, like when he comes bursting through that door, I know he's not going to go round the corner and then try and bite the trainer, because he knows the trainer and I can have Coop off lead with the trainer. Yes, the scenario puts the dog in another position, but at the end of the day, it's not a scenario that he hasn't done before. So Coop understands what that scenario is. But if that happened in a real life situation, or that happened with someone that he wasn't quite aware of, then it might be a bit of a different story. So that's why I'm saying it was my mistake. The dog done his job, but I made a bit of a mess of it. Mistakes are how you learn. Made, and no one is perfect. There's always room for improvement, and I think that's always a thing. And I think if I just put videos up all the time of me doing it really well, or if I made a mistake, I scrapped it and then said, right, scrap that, I want to do it again because it's not going to make a good impression on me or whatever it is, then I'm not being true to myself. I'm not being true to all of you guys, and no one's learning anything in terms of, if everything is always perfect, then you guys are not learning anything, and you're not seeing a mistake that can happen and why that mistake happened. So in terms of that video, you can see that I had him on short lead at the first sort of T-junction, so the dog's head could see around the corner. And then when we got to the end of the corridor, you could see that I had him at full length and let his head poke around the corner. So I was sort of the furthest away from the corners that I could be. But what I didn't do is that when we got to that door, instead of making him wait and me shortening up the lead, I just said check. And because of all the other doors when no one was in there, the dog just sort of sniffed the door, went away. But because obviously that was the door in which the trainer was behind, as when I said check and he was on the full length of the lead, he just went into the room. Now, I was expecting, through what I've done at site as well. So I've done a similar scenario at site. So there was some cabins there, and basically what I was doing is I was walking down, and the supervisor was in one of the cabins, and I said to him, "Just do me a favor, just stay in here for a minute. I'm just going to get the dog out. Just stay in here for a couple of minutes. I just want to get the dog to sniff the doors, and then I'm going to put him back in the van." The supervisor said, "Yeah, that's fine." And there was 4 doors, and I think he was in about the 3rd one. So I walked up to the door, tapped on the door, cracked it a bit, said check. Dog sniffed, went to carry on walking down the path. So I shut that door, got to the next one, cracked it, said check. Dog carried on trying to walk to the next one. And then when we got to the 3rd door that the supervisor was behind, I cracked it, said check, and he sniffed, looked at me and sat down. So I was kind of, because in that scenario on site, that he looked at me and then sat down, that's kind of what I was expecting in that training situation. But because possibly because at the start I wasn't making it as real life, in terms of I wasn't shouting challenges and things like that, is that when we was doing it at the training situation where I was shouting challenges, maybe the dog was just a little bit more hyper. So when it got to the door that the trainer was behind, when I said check, where I was expecting him to sit down, look at me to say he's behind this door, because I've been shouting challenges and the dog was barking and the dog was, let's say, a higher state of arousal, let's say, for a want of a better word, because the dog was at a higher state of arousal, when I said check on that door, he just went, yeah, that's the one, going to burst straight in. So that's something I've learned, is that if my dog is calm and I crack a door and ask him to check, there's a good chance he's going to look at me and he's going to sit. But if I'm shouting challenges and the dog's barking and the dog's worked up, there's a chance that he's just going to try and go smashing through that door. So that's something that I've learned. And like I say, them mistakes at training are what, when you get to do it in real life, hopefully you won't make the mistakes. Danny Wolf, I'm normal driving in these days. At this time, missed a few. Well, the good thing about this is obviously you can go and watch it afterwards. Obviously, once this finishes, this gets left up, so people can go on. But you remember it now for next time. Exactly. And the next time that we do the internal search, I'll understand that every door that I go to, especially if it's a push. If it's a pull, then there's a good chance that the dog's not going to be able to open the door. But definitely if it's a push, is that I need to understand that if I say check, there's a chance that he will go through the door. So yeah, I'll say mistakes happen at training. If people want to bash me for posting it up, then that's absolutely fine. But I'm like I say, I'm sure I'm not the first person that's happened to, and just because I post it up doesn't mean that I'm a bad handler. It just means that obviously I've learned something, and I've learned the difference between my dog in one scenario compared to another scenario. So has anyone got any questions? In terms of videos coming up, I actually haven't got one for this Saturday. There will be a video for Saturday, so don't panic too much. I haven't got one for this Saturday. I spoke to UK Security 101 about a few video ideas. I think one that I want to do is an Amazon versus Niton kind of tack vest comparison. So I've got my original Amazon tack vest that was used for about 18 months, and then I've got the Niton one that I got off UK Security 101 that is also about 18 months. So what I want to do is just do a comparison of them, so you can maybe see the difference in quality that you're paying for. So I think that's a video I'm gonna get up. That'll be up Saturday. Well, I'm going to commit to that because that's going to make me film that. So yeah, this Saturday will be an Amazon versus Niton kind of tack vest, 18-month-old tack vest comparison. There is a video that I want to do regarding the minimum wage, but I need to make sure that I word that properly, because I feel like by wording that wrong is that it could upset a lot of people and maybe make me come over a bit make me come over a bit ungrateful. So I think I want to do a video about the increase of minimum wage and how that's going to affect, and maybe what the security industry can look to do now. So that's a video that I want to do. But there's also me and Aaron have spoken about the next episode of the podcast and getting an actual guest on. So that's something else I'm going to be working on. I've got a busy, probably, what are we now? Wednesday. So I've got this week, got next week. So I've probably got a busy like 10 to 12 days, and then I've got a lot of time off, and there's going to be lots of different stuff. So and also is I'm working really hard for this announcement on the 2nd of January as well. So yeah, I'm keeping busy. I'm actually working quite hard, and like I say, there's lots of stuff that I've been filming and things like that I can't put up this Saturday. So yeah, this Saturday is definitely going to be the Amazon versus Niton 18-month-old tack vest, so that you can, like I say, so you can see what the extra money for the Niton one is, or some of the benefits of the Amazon one, because there are benefits to the Amazon one that the Niton doesn't have. But in terms of quality, the Niton has stuff that the Amazon doesn't have in terms of durability. So where are we? Remember it from next time you ever got to that. Make you a better handler by admitting your mistake. Yeah, I think that's one of the problems, isn't it? if you're always pretending that you never make mistakes, is that you are admitting to yourself that whatever you've done is never incorrect. And I think that is part of the ego of a dog handler, and maybe the ego of a dog handler and the ego of security in general, is that you have to make it look like you're not making a mistake to not seem weak. So yeah, I don't think admitting mistakes makes you look weak, and I don't think that admitting to mistakes makes you a bad handler. It just makes you a better handler for the next occasion. Chip King, are you going to do a video on Christmas Day? Well, what day does Christmas Day fall on? Hello, great mate. You all right? You want to come up? You come up here? Good. Come up. Come up here. There you go. Say hello to everyone. Hello, great mate. Yes, I know. So Christmas Day, that falls on a Sunday. Probably not, because there'll obviously be a Saturday video that comes out on. There's obviously a Christmas video that comes out on the Saturday. So there won't be the Christmas video will be on that Saturday. So there won't be one out Christmas Day, but there'll obviously be one out Christmas Eve. UK Security 10, can't keep a straight face every time you keep saying Amazon versus Night On. Yes, you know why. Hey, is these all your fans? Hey, these all your fans over here? Yeah? Yeah. Coopy. Hey, who's that? Good boy. Yeah, actually, I will actually play that. So I've got so me and hold on. Oh. So me and Aaron were messing about the other night, and I'll try and play a couple of them. Which one's going to be this one, isn't it? Right, pause that. Right, I'll turn this right up. So I've got a new voiceover guy, and me and UK Security 101 were messing about the other day, and we come up with this. And I want to get your opinions on what you think of UK Security 101's voiceover work.
Amazon versus Nitron, tat or tack.
So that was that one. Let me know if you couldn't hear that, because I don't actually know where the speaker is for this, which is a bit annoying. And then there was this one.
Amazon versus.
Oh no, it's the same one.
There once was a man who became a golfer. Then COVID hit. He then had a midlife crisis and became a dog handler. And now he's here on Wednesday Night Live, just for you. Get your smocks on, leashes at the ready, and prepare to challenge.
So hopefully you might have been able to hear that. And if you can, let me know what you think of UK Security 101's voiceover work, because I might actually get him to do some voiceover stuff for some videos and that, and have a bit of fun with it. UK Security 101 said, the missus said, give Coop a hug and a well done. You've just set Zeus off. Yeah, I've just sent him back in to go and bark over there. So yeah, if you could hear that, hopefully you could. If you can hear that, let me know what you think of UK Security 101's voiceover work. Actually, I'll tell you what, there is a video, something that we'll probably go talk about in the podcast episode, is I'm actually going to get UK Security 101 to talk through meeting Coop for the first time. So obviously a lot of you have seen him in videos and different things like that, and I think it's quite interesting the way in which people see Coop on video to when they actually meet him in real life. And I think UK Security 101 actually saw him in two different lights. So he met Coop where me and Coop went into Aaron's what's the best way of putting it? Went into Aaron's domain. So me and Coop went into where Coop would believe that Aaron was living, and he saw one side of Coop. But then also, obviously, on the night that they come around for dinner, is that they came into where we was living, and it was a completely different dog. And I think it's going to be interesting to hear Aaron's thoughts on that. I obviously won't get him to do it now on the chat, but I think it's quite interesting to get his look on it, because there's been lots of people that have only seen him in video and then actually seen him in real life afterwards, and different things that people have said is he's a lot bigger than he looks on camera. He's a lot louder than he seems on camera. So I think it'd be interesting to get Aaron's to look on it, because, like I say, it was two different dogs, but obviously when they come into our premises, in order for them to be there for the 3-4 hours that they was, obviously they had to be able to get along. So it'd be interesting to see how they felt about when they originally turned up and saw Coop at the window and me letting him in, to how he was within sort of 10-15 minutes once he realised that these people were going to be staying with us for a bit, how much of a different dog he was then. And to as a bit of a spoiler, at one point they was feeding him steak off of a fork. So you can tell that he did the protection side and the deterrent side didn't last very long. So UK Security 101 is definitely a lot bigger than he looks on camera. Yeah, I mean he's pretty standard. I'd say he's 40 kilo, but a lot of people have said that on camera next to me is he actually doesn't look as big as when you actually see him in real life. So yeah, that'd be an interesting chat as well. And like I say, next time we're on the podcast, I'll get Aaron to talk through that. So has anyone had anything going on? Has anyone got any kind of stories that they want to share, or have they got any let's say questions in terms of like training? I mean, I'm not a trainer, I've always said that, but if anyone's got any questions about sort of what aspects of training you need to concentrate on at certain points. If you want to be part of the Discord group, there's a Discord link in the description of this video. I actually reached out to, I don't do it often if I'm going to be honest, but I actually reached out to someone on a Facebook group yesterday, I think it was, and said, look, if you want some help, here's my YouTube channel, here's my Discord. And most of that is because of the negativity in terms of this guy is in construction. He's like a site manager in construction and things like that. And them sorts of jobs comes with a lot of pressure. They come with a lot of responsibility and different things like that. I'm sure there's lots of different jobs that people are in where they do it because it pays the bills, but it's not actually what they want to do. And the reason that I reached out to him is that all he was doing was asking about like cage or crate size. He was saying, look, this is the size of crate I've got. Do you think this is going to be big enough for my dog? Because I want to have a self-contained van, etc. And the first couple of messages on there was, stay in construction, don't come into security dog handling. And these are people that are security dog handlers. There was a one on there that said, I'm a security dog handler, stay in construction. If I could be in construction, I would do this. I can't wait to leave security dog handling. And the reason that I reached out to him is I just said to him, look, here's my YouTube channel, here's my Discord. If you want to ask questions, this is a good place to ask. There's lots of people in there that will give you good answers. No one complains, cries and moans about the situation they're in because they've chosen not to improve it. Because I think that's one of the things that really annoys me with the negative comments and security dog handlers telling people not to get into the industry, even those they're in it, is that they complain about the industry without making their situation better. So they'll complain that they're not looked after. They'll complain that the money's not good enough. They'll complain that that their van's not self-contained. They'll complain that there's no facilities on site, and all of that is under your control. You can go and work for another company. You could say no to £10 an hour and say, well, no, I'm only going to work for £12 an hour. You can self-contain your van. You can say to your boss, I don't want to work on a site that has no facilities. Like, all of these things are in your hands. But what handlers normally do is that they just don't say anything. They just complain on Facebook. They just complain here, complain there, but just go and do the job. And if you're the boss and you keep sending this handler to a site with no facilities, and they never complain, then you're like, well, they must be happy with that situation. So I think a lot of it, that's the reason that I reached out to him, and I just said, look, these people are complaining about a situation that they're not trying to better themselves in. Therefore, if you want to speak to some other people, look, come and speak to us. We can give you some advice and different things like that. UK Security 101's got to go. He's got to get ready for work. Stay safe, mate. So yeah, like I say, if you want to be part of the Discord, that's in the description. Like I say, there's handlers in there. There's new handlers. There's experienced handlers. There's aspiring handlers in there. And like I say, I think it's just a safe place for people to ask questions without getting a load of ag or a load of people trying to put them off. Because as the guy said to me, he said that his dream of having a self-contained vehicle and being sent to a muddy field in order to go and look after something is actually what he wants. He doesn't want to work on a construction site where he has to deal or manage loads of people. He would rather be on his own in a field with his dog, doing a job and just being left alone. So just because something is a nightmare for you, it doesn't mean it's a nightmare for someone else. And I'm going to butcher this, but it's like one man's trash is another man's gold. Is that a saying? It sounds about right. So one man's trash is another man's gold. So one man's nightmare of a site is someone else's dream site, or someone else's nightmare of a job is someone else's dream job. So just because it's trash to you doesn't mean it's not gold for someone else. So you shouldn't be on there saying stay in construction, don't come into security dog handling, because guess what? Some people want to work with dogs. Some people don't want to work in construction. So yeah, like I say, that's just my sort of thing on it. And like I say, I don't reach out much, because I think if I put myself out there in the Facebook world or whatever it is, and I say, well, here's this video, or here's this video, or come talk to me, I know it all, is that I'm just putting myself out there for all the negative people to come towards me, where I'd rather just people say, here's this guy, have a look at his stuff, you can speak to him, he has a Discord, go and speak to him, he's helped me out, etc., and things like that. So I'm not someone that goes and puts myself out there. I let people come and find me, or I let people that follow my stuff pass my stuff on to new handlers or whatever it is. So and I think I find that with a lot of subscribers. So obviously, because my channel is reasonably small, obviously I can keep a reasonable idea of like how many subscribers are being added each day, or whatever it is. And like, there's days where I'll get no new subscribers, but then like the other day I think I was on like 598, and then I checked a little bit later on and I was on like 602. So there was like 4, which to me says that like someone's found it, then passed it on to someone else, who passed it on to someone else, who passed it on to someone else. So I do find that quite a lot, is that when I get new subscribers, that they normally come in like little bunches, maybe like 2s and 3s, where someone finds it, passes it on to someone else, and I'll get that. Like, it's very rarely it goes up one by one. Is that it normally someone finds it and then sends it to someone else, who then subscribes as well. So I think that's the best way to do it, because I don't want to be loud, and I don't want to be out there and attract the negativity. I'd rather people say, look, I like this guy, here's his stuff, you might enjoy it too. So I think there is a little bit about that. But like I say, in terms of being negative on Facebook and things like that, just remember, I'm going to say it, and this will be the fourth time I've said it wrong, but another man's trash is another man's gold. So don't tell people not to do or get into a job, because at the end of the day, it might be their dream job, and when they get into it, they might think that this is the best job that they've ever done, much better than construction and things like that. What we at 40 minutes. So yeah, we'll give it another 5 if anyone's got some different bits and pieces like that. Is there anything that you guys want different in the lives and things like that? Because basically what I do with this is I just come on and I just start talking, and I just start talking, and then something leads me somewhere, then someone's message in the chat box takes me somewhere else, and I just end up talking. Is there anything that you guys maybe want me to do with these lives and different things like that? Because we're at episode 32 now in the lives, and I think we've covered a lot of like the basic stuff that a lot of people have questions about. And I feel like a lot of these, although we have chats and we kind of hang out and different things like that, there's not a lot of people coming in with a lot of questions, because like I say, I think because we're at episode 32, I think we've answered a lot of that stuff, or people have backlogged, watched all of the lives. Therefore, when I do a new one, there's not much going on. So is there anything different that maybe I can do, or anything like that? Danny Rolfe, I think the saying is, one man's rubbish is another man's treasure. Similar. I knew it was something like that, but I couldn't remember exactly what it was. Are you thinking about getting a drugs or explosives search dog in the future? I've played with the idea. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do. I think next year is going to be a big year for me as a handler, for me as a channel, and I think next year is going to be the make or break of where I go with this. I think that's the best way of putting it. I don't want to put myself under any pressure, and I don't want to make any promises to people that I don't think I'm not going to make any promises, not going to put any pressure on. This is definitely what I'm going to do, because with that comes expectation. What I want to do is saying, look, I'm kind of guiding towards this direction. I'm going to see how this goes for a bit. If this doesn't work, then maybe I'll go in this direction. What I will say is that I feel like I need a bit of a challenge. I need a bit of a new challenge now. By no means is Cooper the ultimate protection dog. No, by no means is there not stuff that I need to work on with him. But what I feel like I do need another challenge. Now, what that challenge is, I don't know. I feel like I've done a lot of videos on what I do, and I just feel like there is maybe a new challenge that I need to put myself towards and give that a go. So yeah, maybe watch this space. Maybe let's see what happens. Not going to promise anything, but I am always looking for a new challenge and a new thing to do. But like I say, I think that this has been a good stepping stone. What I would say is I've always said that I would like to see what I can do with a dog from a puppy when I put everything into that dog being a certain thing. So in terms of Cooper, is that when I first got him, I put all of my effort into putting him into being a pet and trying to make him not the best pet in the world, but making him a pet that people would want, in terms of like, he was good, he was friendly, he was this, he was that. And then obviously at 18 months, I decided, right, actually, I want us to go down this route. So then I put my all into, right, we're going to do training, we're going to do everything to make you a security protection dog. And to what standard that he has got to differs from person to person. Some people think he's good, some people think he's shite, but it goes from different person to person. But what I've not had the chance to do is get a puppy and say, right, you are going to be the next protection dog. And from 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it is, going, right, you are project protection dog. Let's see what I can do with you. So I am interested in getting a puppy that I can say, right, you are project protection or you are project drugs dog. Let's see what I can do with you. And I think that's the kind of challenge that I want, the challenge that I need. But like I say, I completely understand that Cooper is not the complete article. I know that there's still stuff I need to do with him, but I'm not going to say there's only so much training you can do with him, but he can't train all day. I can't train him all day. I can't train him on site. I can't then from site go and train him this. Like, he obviously needs his breaks throughout the thing. So I feel like there is a project that I want to try and do. But I think for me as a handler is that I want to see what I could do if I had a dog from puppy and take him all the way up to sort of NASDU and say, right, this is what I've done. This has all been me. In terms of, I started him off as a puppy and I've pushed him all the way to doing this. I've not gone in one direction and then after 18 months gone, actually, we're going to go into this direction. So I think that is something that maybe I want to do. I feel like I mumbled that quite a lot, but I'm hoping you guys kind of understood what I was trying to say with that. So yeah, watch this space. Who knows? Next year is going to be a big year in terms of the channel, in terms of me, and like I say, I'm always trying to push. I'm always trying to push the boundaries of what I can do. I'm always pushing the boundaries of what Cooper can do. I'm always pushing the boundaries of what's possible with security dog handling on YouTube. So yeah, I'm always pushing the boundaries and always challenging myself, and I think that's one of the best things to do so that you don't get stale. And I'm not saying I've got stale with Cooper, but I am working on similar things all the time, and he's got to a good standard in a lot of the stuff. I'm not saying the best standard ever, but he's got to a reasonable standard in all of the stuff. So whilst I'm doing that, maybe I do want to look at the next generation and say, right, let's see what I can do with you. So who knows? Maybe. What we at? 48:24. So we'll give it another 30 seconds to see if anyone wants to see if anyone's got any other questions. That was a good question regarding the drugs and explosives. There was a post that I put up a little while ago about would you rather go into a room with a man with a bat and deal with him, or would you rather go into a room with live explosives? And if you had the dog capable of dealing with both situations, which one would you rather go into? A lot of people, I think probably 90% of people said that they would rather go into the room with the man with the bat, because they believe if you've got the dog that's capable of dealing with that situation, that's much more manageable than going into a room with an explosive dog, because the end result of something going wrong with a man with a bat is less than going into the room with the live explosives and something going wrong. So I think that's a bit interesting as well. But I think, like, obviously drugs and that, you obviously deal with sort of drug dealers or people that may not be in the right frame of mind because they're on drugs, etc. But I think that's much more manageable. But I think putting you into a room where there's live explosives, I think mentally that takes you into another part of being a handler, about being able to trust your dog, and especially being able to pick up on keys and making sure that you put the right training in to keep yourself safe. So I think, like, the drugs and explosives is much more important than maybe some of the protection stuff. Although obviously protection work with a man with a bat is also obviously very important as well. Right, we are at 50 minutes, and I think we're going to leave it there. I think that's been a decent live. I think we've gone through some different bits. Hopefully, I haven't mumbled along too long with that. I feel like that was good. So yeah, I aim to do one of these in a couple of weeks. What will that take us up to? That will take me to. Let's see how this schedules out, actually. So we are there. So that'll be 14th and 28th. That works out. So the next live will be on the 14th of December. And then the one after that will be the 28th of December. And that will be like the Christmas, New Year. Maybe we'll have a beer. Maybe we'll do a drunk one. Maybe we'll chat some proper nonsense. So yeah, guys, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below for loads more videos. I will film and I will get a video out of Amazon versus Niton this Saturday. Cheers for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you later.